It's not a victory Monday, but it's not as bad as it has been for the Panthers. There's somewhere in between there. By the way, 3:30, we will be opening the phone lines, Heister Automotive Group hotline for a Monday sound-off. Whatever you want to talk about, the floor is yours. Heister Automotive Group hotline will be open at 3:30, so start getting your thoughts in order. What takes do you want on air? Again, 3:30, we'll start opening that up. In the meantime, to talk Panthers today is, I had to go back in the archives. And what I mean by that is these are the conversations I was expecting to have after week one. The Panthers that I was expecting at the beginning of the year showed up in week 4. Instead, in week 1 and week 2, we had to bounce back from what in the heck was that? I thought I had seen things. It was a funny game. They were playing so poorly, I didn't see it coming. Then week 3, they played so well, I didn't see it coming. Even if you thought Andy Dalton was going to improve the team, I don't think you truly believed they were going to go from getting smacked to doing the smacking. And then week 4 comes around. That's what I thought they were. I didn't think they were as bad as they were in week 1 and week 2. I didn't think they were as good as they were in week 3. I'm expecting them to be where they were in week 4. Good on offense, struggling at times on defense, J.C. Horn battling with the opposing team's best player, pass rush holding them back in a lot of ways, a few mistakes from the young wide receivers, a few things you love from the young wide receivers, and a game that could have been a win but probably rightfully was a loss. That's what I expected at the beginning of the year. Why? Well, we knew that they had taken resources from the defense and put them on the offense. Right? We knew that they had taken Brian Burns' money and given it to 2 offensive guards. We knew that they had traded a starting corner who was likely being cut for a wide receiver that's a starter that may have likely been cut. But they were moving defense to offense. We know that their draft had a first-round pick wide receiver and a second-round pick running back, which we still haven't seen yet. But we knew that they made offense a priority, so I expected the offense to take a step up. I expected the defense to take a step back. That's what it looked like in week 4. So you took a long and winding road to get where I thought you would be, with the main caveat being I thought you would be week 4 production with a clear vision for the future of the quarterback spot. It turns out you're week 4 production without a clear vision for the future of the quarterback spot. Because Andy Dalton, at almost 37 years old, can't be the clear vision, and Bryce Young, needless to say, not the clear vision for the future of the quarterback spot. Everything else, though, makes sense. Chuba Hubbard balling out. We've seen him when they commit to the offense running the football. That's the Steve Wilkes era, Chuba Hubbard. We know he can get it done if you get him a chance to grind and land body blows.
He had his longest run of his career yesterday, 38 yards.
38 is more than I thought he had in his bag of tricks. So I give him credit for surprising a little bit. But the 200-something yards over 2 games plus 70 yards receiving, we knew that was there for Chuba. You go back and listen to the preseason stuff. We were excited for Chuba, especially before Jonathan Brooks comes back or arrives. I guess not a comes back situation. Deontay Johnson being the number 1 wide receiver. You can go back and find in the offseason how excited everybody was for that trade. That's pretty darn good. Xavier Legette making some plays. That's a first-round wide receiver. The offensive line doing what they do, especially without Damian Lewis. That's what we expected. But also, Jonathan Mingo dropping a pass, Xavier Legette getting a couple on his hands, not bringing them in, having a situation where you're down there on the 1-yard line and you don't punch it in. You expected those from the Carolina Panthers too. They were the worst team in football last year. So coming into the year, this is what we expected. Now it's about doing what we hoped they would do starting in week 1, which is, right, all right, Xavier Legette made a couple plays, also dropped a couple balls, or I don't know if they were officially drops, had a couple that I thought he should have caught that he didn't. Let's work on ironing those out of his game. Deontay Johnson was awesome. Deontay Johnson also had a near miss on a couple highlight plays.
Oh, yeah.
That you would like your number one wide receiver to make. Let's start building on the chemistry a little bit more with Andy Dalton and Deontay Johnson, right? It's because you went on this wild and crazy ride through the first 3 weeks of the season. You're basically starting week 4 now. Week 4 is not fantasy land. You've been looking in funhouse mirrors for 3 weeks now. You finally got a true regular like dressing room mirror to get a feel for what you have, and now you have to start fixing it. Dave Canales on the team continuing to improve. This came from the postgame.
For me, it's about that 1 week progression. It's about every day getting better and better at our systems. Again, we're still learning all these things and coming together with the communication and all that, and it's been better week after week. And so my approach is the weekly approach. That the Bengals were our opponent. We saw what they did. We saw the schemes that they had. We had great calls against it, and it comes down to execution, So I thought we took a step in some areas, but it wasn't enough to win, and that's the ultimate goal, is to win the football games, and we didn't get that done.
You could easily argue, right, if the entire goal is getting better, right? If the entire goal is that week-to-week improvement, they've achieved their goal once. The first week was bad. Second week, if you want to say they were better against the Chargers than the Saints, you're splitting hairs. You are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 0 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. Which do you like? Like, to me, they didn't improve drastically. From week 2 to week 3, improved a bunch.
Yes.
Week 3 to week 4, it's a step back. Mm-hmm. Now, rightfully, I mean, week 3 was really high. If you got better from there, you would have turned into like a video game. But my point is, now start the improvement. Now I think you have a realistic impression of what the Panthers are. Mm-hmm. Week 4 is what you are. Where do you get better? I think you get better with a little bit of, on offense we're speaking, a little bit of playmaking, a little bit of dynamic ability. One of your guys that has a little sizzle has to make one of those plays. Defensively, still need a pass rush. We knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Still need to tackle better. We knew it was going to happen. Still need to be more physical in certain areas. Still going to have to replace some guys, some injuries now with Shaq Thompson out for the year with an Achilles pop, and Josie Jewell, who knows what his future looks like, has a couple of soft tissue injuries going on. There are some legitimate causes for concern on the defense, and the answers are not easy. But at least now you know, right? It's you finally went to a doctor that like took the right tests, and now you know what you need to do to fix it. The first 3 games are going to a doctor, and the doctor's just saying, "I don't know. Obviously, you're in a lot of pain, but I don't know. I work out more, eat healthy. I don't know."
We're just going to have to do some tests.
Yeah. Week 3, week 3 came back with, all right, here's your numbers. All right, here's how we have to fix it. All right, here's the medicine I need you to go pick up from the pharmacy, and I need you to, watch out for red meat. Or like now there should be a path towards fixing it, towards getting better. And at Chicago, I think it's a very winnable game.
Oh, yeah.
I said this on TV. I was on WRAL, the news this morning, and Ken asked me, he's like, all right, Chicago, like, Caleb Williams hasn't been doing all that. Like, what do you think? And I said, I think this is a big one for the Panthers for this reason. I think they should be disappointed if they lose. It's been a long time since they went into a game that I said, if you lose this, you should be upset. Usually it's, play well, and if you win, great. But you can't really expect to win. If you go into this one and you lose, I think you are upset. Now, Chicago looked better this week than future weeks, but if you're than past weeks, but if you're building off of the Cincinnati game, I think you expect to win this one. But still, Panthers are what we thought they were. Now, finally, getting to where we thought they were.